quite a bit because I cashed my wins total ticket last week.
You're welcome.
And I know a lot of my buddies, when I told them, my local friends, especially at the places called bowling alleys and bowling leagues, there's no way the Steelers are going to have a winning record this year. You're nuts. Okay, well, now I can buy 2 new bowling balls, I guess. But seriously.
well, the squirrel knows has to get his nuts, and how they get their nuts is by winning. And when you win, and it's not a question of win, you can go a lot farther than without. And with that being said, John, this is a rematch between these two teams. Not just 2 games ago did they face off against the Cleveland Browns, who by far in the snow globe game, as we like to know it and call it and actually love it and endear it, this game's no longer going to be in Cleveland. It's going to be in, Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium. There is no snow slated to be in this game, not to suggest there won't be, but you know how Mother Nature works. She either does or doesn't. And the Steelers at 9-3 are certainly rolling. I've seen so many accolades for other teams being given by the NFL and giving them their, crowns and their dues and their, here's our favorite, play of the game and player of the week, et cetera, et cetera. No mention for the Pittsburgh Steelers, none whatsoever, which I find to continually throw another log in the fire, especially during these cold winter months for some across the country are experiencing. They're throwing another log in the fire for the Steelers to continue playing, the way they have been. They shellacked, they demolished, they demoralized the Cincinnati Bengals in such a way that, as a fan from that perspective, gave me nothing but joy to see them win. Not necessarily because it was the Bengals, but it's how they won and the ways that they won and who was leading the pack. The special teams plays, the batted balls, the forced fumbles, the way that Russell Wilson is able to take care of the ball since becoming the starter for the Steelers, have yet to lose a game for it, except for that last game against the Browns. So with that being said, there's a lot to like about the Steelers team and a lot less to like about the Cleveland Browns. But don't forget, like anybody else does, records mean nothing when you're playing teams within your own respective division. Bottom line, they know who you are, they know how you play, and they're going to set up accordingly. Now, do I see the Browns necessarily taking the win in Pittsburgh to perform a sweep? Not this week. Maybe the week before last. Okay, perhaps. Why? Because it's in their house. The Browns have played in the snow. They're familiar with it. Steelers have played in the snow time and time again. It hasn't actually happened in their schedule as much as to their chagrin, perhaps. But the Steelers just keep on winning, and they continually show why. And the less they get talked about, the less conversation surrounding what they're capable of doing on the field, as well as those players and how they contribute off the field. Certainly it's not being discussed. It's not talked about. But certainly amongst Steeler fans, they are certainly being talked about, as they should be. National media is not giving them any love, as I just stated. And I think that's a clear oversight by those who aren't giving any respect. And of course, you heard the segue song into the Detroit Lions game, R-E-S-P-E-C-T by Aretha Franklin. And the Steelers are frankly getting none of that either. So you can't just put the Lions on an island and expect to not get bitten, especially by a lion. But you're going to get bitten when the Steelers take care of business at home against the Browns this Sunday.